So the issue of child trafficking is one very important subject that I will be tackling sometime in the future. But today I want to settle on transport. And I do have an entrepreneur joining me. We'll discuss issues in the transport sector. People are looking forward to days when they can park their cars and join a public transport system or, you know, a reliable transport system and go to work and not have to drive through the thick traffic by themselves. Would we ever get there? That's something that we're all looking forward to. But my guest right now is Christopher Pamford. He's an entrepreneur and he runs a special business, which we'll also be discussing. Christopher, good morning to you.
Good
morning. Would we ever get to the point where, you know, you wake up, you say if you live in Adenta, you can drive to, say, Tetekwashi, or maybe Legon and park your car and join another transport and then get to your office on time?
I think we will get there, but I think, yeah.
When would we get there?
We will get there, but currently, if you look at the situation on the ground, it will be difficult to say that we will get there, but I think we will get there. We shall surely get there. Within probably so many things. The transportation in Ghana has so many problems, and then we have to tackle them one at a time. So it will take some time, but I think we'll get there. Probably taking about the next decade or something, but I'm sure
what are the priority issues with regards to our transport system in Ghana today? I mean, what do you think in terms of if we were to work on the things confronting us, what should we be tackling first?
Yeah, so I think we have to tackle, first of all, the roads. Yes, we have to have expansion. The old ones that we have to maintain them. We have to expand. We have to connect most of the roads, the rural roads. We have to get them. Yes, the roads, we have to take off the roads. And then I think there are some other sectors that we have to also take. Once we take off the road, to be safe, the roads will be safe. I'm
also thinking that we need more access roads.
Sure.
We need more access roads.
That's why I said that. We have to connect, because sometimes we always have to use one particular road, whilst probably we could have used some other linkages that probably would have led us to wherever we are going. But just because there's only one road to wherever we are going, we all have to just be in the traffic and then be stuck in it. So yeah, but I think we'll get there.
The sort of system that we run now, the taxis, the trotros, the taxis are sometimes just like the trotros.
Sure.
What's the big difference here?
I think in this in Accra, I think that the only difference is that for the taxis, maybe you say probably I just want to pick a drop in. So probably as and when you need it, probably you can just stand by the roadside and then just stop one and then you can get it. But for the trotro, you know, sometimes you have to go and join some queues, very long queues within the stations, and then I'll stand by the roadside. And as and when the car fills up before you'll be able to move. So the time and everything is quite difficult. But for the taxis, and even if availability of the taxis is also one of the problems, the traffic and everything. But the difference between the taxis is that the taxis you can just stand by the roadside and then stop one as and when you need it. But the trotro, sometimes you can even stop by the roadside and get one.
Yeah.
But there will be so many stoppages on the road to wherever you are going, so you might not get to the destination that you're going.
I think that's one of the major complaints as well. Because sometimes you can easily pick a trotro, but just because of the various stops that the trotro will make before you finally get to where you are, I mean, it gets rather tiring if you're sitting in a trotro.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. But I just want to see, you know, us having like a proper transport system where we will all not be forced to drive. Because I think that's also one of the reasons there's a lot of traffic. Because everybody's driving. Everybody's driving.
Sure.
Okay, so you run a transport system. I mean, what exactly do you run?
Basically, it's not like I run a transport system. Mine is just about empowerment, but it's a form of transportation business. What do we do that? What we do is that we try to empower taxi drivers, these trotro drivers. We try to empower them to own their own cars. Normally, the trotro drivers, as I was saying, sometimes the monthly payment that they get from their drivers is sometimes 2 days. The usual days from the car owners is 2 days, which is woefully inadequate. So we have to find ways and means of just empowering them so that they will also be able to own their own cars and then feed their families.
Yeah, what's
so
the sales, in terms of sales that are made each day? If you have a normal trotro, I think the popular ones are the urban buses,
yes,
right?
The urban buses, sprinter buses, yes.
How much sales do they make, like, in a day?
Averagely we have 23-seater, we have 19-seater, we have 14-seaters, yeah. But averagely, I think for the 23-seater, they make about 100 Ghana cedis.
That's if you're running around town, like if you're in Accra,
if you're in Accra, for instance.
Okay,
yes,
so if you're going out of Accra,
if you're good, it's between 100 cedis and 140 Ghana cedis,
okay,
depending on the.
This is what you have to pay the car owner.
The car owner.
Okay.
Yes.
And by the end of the day, how much should you also be able to gather for yourself?
For the car owner or the driver?
For the driver and the mate to share.
Yes. For the car owners, they only have like monthly payment, and then they only pay you twice, like 2 days.
Do they pay them monthly?
They pay them monthly. Yeah, they pay them monthly. So they select about 2 days out of the 30 days or 28 days that you've worked, and then pay you that amount. So if, let's say, 100 cedis, then they are going to pay you 200 Ghana cedis at the end of the month, which is woefully inadequate. Yes.
But to think that they also make some money aside, on the sides, not everybody has that luxury. Some people only get paid at the end of the month, and that's all. Yeah. They don't get to make any aside monies.
Yeah.
Okay. So how about the mates?
For the driver's mate, for the driver's mate, I think they are paid for by the drivers themselves. Yeah, by the drivers themselves.
Okay.
Yes, by the drivers themselves.
Does this same rule apply to the taxis?
Yes, but the taxis, the only thing is that they don't have mates. They don't have mates. Yes, it's only them, and then it's also just 2 days. Okay. The pay that they take is basically 2 days. So.
Do they also make that same daily sales?
I think for them they make about 40 cedis, 35, 40 Ghana cedis, 45 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Yes, depending on the condition that the car is in. Yes, yeah. So that's how many.
So when the car breaks down, whose responsibility is it to do the repairs?
In my case, the driver is responsible for it, but if probably the car was bought by an owner and he says that, oh, I've employed you, then what you're going to do is that he has to maintain the car. Yes, anytime the car breaks down, he will be responsible for the maintenance of the car.
We'll come to the specifics of what you do, but if I was a taxi driver, for instance, I just want to ask, I mean, is this a lucrative business enough for other people to want to venture? I mean, driving a taxi or owning a car and turning it into a cab.
Yes, it is. For me, I think it is. It depends on how we brand it, and it depends on how we train the people. Now, taxi drivers themselves think that probably their job is not a good one, but they come into contact with monies that probably the government workers and all those people who are on salaries do not come into contact with.
Because I'm asking because I know there are a lot of graduates out there. Sometimes people think that, driving a taxi is not one of the things that I'm looking forward to doing, or, one of the things that I can do. But I'm thinking that if it's lucrative enough, then that's also another venture that people can get involved.
Yes, I think that's the canker that we have in Africa. Now, if you're driving a taxi in Ghana or Africa, it's bad. People look down upon you. But if you're doing it outside, not all of us, sure, not all of us. But when you're doing it outside, it's okay. Somebody goes outside the country and then drives a taxi there, brings the money home, and then he's held. But once you are doing it in the country,
I guess it's because if you're out there, we all assume that you make a lot more money.
Yeah.
So do we make, I mean, are we close to what people make out there?
I can't say we are close. I can't say we are close, but we make that much. I think the taxi drivers make that much. And then if we actually will make sure that if we train these drivers how to manage their finances very well, I think they can come up with something. But the thing is the financial discipline. They don't have any idea about how to manage their money, how to just take care of themselves. So I
you know,
think that's why they misuse
some
the
people
money
think that they earn by day, so they also spend by day.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's it. He
So-
earns at the end of the day, goes into a job, and then you see a bowl of fufu and everything. You can get everything on it. So that's the problem. They just spend by day.
So if you're making 40 Ghana cedi sales a day, how much can you make on the side for your own pocket?
Talking to some of the drivers, some say they make as much as about 100 Ghana cedis
Okay.
daily. But what they are actually going to pay to the car owner or whoever bought them the car is about 40 Ghana cedis.
So you make
they make about 60 Ghana cedis.
So say you make 60 extra.
Yes.
But you still have to fill the tank
That's
before you go and
they
park.
told me after they have filled the tank and other
They
things.
make
That's when
60
they make
extra.
up.
That's a
60
lot of
extra.
money.
That's a lot
I mean,
of
a
money
day.
every day. Yes, every day. Yes, every day.
Wow.
So yeah, it's something that can be when it's really thought through. We can really empower people.
So how did you start?
For me, I think I started by looking at what my mom was doing. My mom wasn't really a transport owner, but along the way she just purchased one car, and then I saw that the driver was complaining a lot. My mom was complaining as much as the driver. The driver would come home and say that, oh, I didn't all the money that I made, I purchased some stuff with it. I had to do some maintenance and other things with it. And then at the end of the day, he will the small one that he will bring, he will come and take it back and then say that he wants to repair the car with. And then this same driver was also complaining that he doesn't have anything to look up to. He doesn't have anything that he can just look back on and say that, oh, I'm secured in any way. So I thought that then why don't I just find a way? This is way back in 2006, 2005. Why don't I just find a way that probably I can just empower this driver, and at the end of the day, me just getting the car for the person, I wouldn't have to just worry so much about how much I was going to get. Yes.
Okay.
So that's basically how it started.
So you buy the car.
Yes. What we do is that we take loans from financial institutions, and then we buy the cars, because the drivers themselves cannot really go to the banks or any of the financial institutions. When you go, the first thing that you'll be asked is collateral, and then looking at the circumstances, you can't really come up
But
with
that's
anything.
a huge risk.
Yes, that's a huge risk. When you do your homework well, when you weigh the things, all the risks that come along with it, you can just surmount them once.
Okay, so let's go through it. You go to the bank, you get a loan,
Yes.
and then you buy a car.
Yes.
You turn into a cab.
Yes.
And then you give it to a driver.
Give it to the driver.
On what basis? I mean.
Yes. What we really do is that we interview the drivers. They come, we interview them and then take them through some of the safety measures, and then see if really the person can really drive, and he's really a taxi driver. Because some people really want to take advantage of it. He's not a taxi driver, he wants, because he said probably you would take about 10% or 5% of whatever you're going to use to purchase the car. He will just bring the 5% and say, give me the car. He gives it to another person. So we take the drivers through some interviews, and then once the person has passed it, then we just give the car to the person. But we have some security measures that we put in place. We have insurance, the car is insured comprehensively, and then we have some security devices that we put in the cars, which we use to monitor wherever the driver might be at any point in time. We can track, we can even stop the engine of the car.
Okay.
Yes, we can even check over speeding, reckless driving, and all. So I think most of the risk are taken care of.
So the person pays 5% of the cost.
Yes, about 5 to 10%.
Okay.
Yes,
and then, so it means that then the person owns it alongside yourself. Is that it?
Sure. On agreement.
So with that, how much sales do you have to make?
It has to be practical, and it has to be the same, not to put pressure on the drivers. It has to be basically the same, or probably a little bit different from what they make.
The regular.
The regular sales. So, which is just about 40 Ghana cedis, 42 Ghana cedis, not that much. So the driver should be able to make it, not to put so much stress, because that's what they're really, the regular sales that they are making. So if you're going to make the same regular sales that you make, and then you make the same sales to me, and at the end of 2.5 years or 1.5 years, you own your car.
Really?
I think, yeah, that's
Are we talking about brand new vehicles?
No, we are not talking about brand new vehicles.
Because you said at the end of 2.5 years,
yes.
you own the vehicle.
Yes. We have other incentives, because at the end of the day, the vehicles, they are slightly used vehicles, overseas used vehicles that we import them into the country and then give it to them. Now, the brand new vehicles come with their own challenges. We have to we are talking about cost of maintenance, the availability of the people that will even maintain the car. So it comes with a whole lot of cost. So what we really do is that we have to take a car. We have to make sure that the car that you're going to give to the person, really there's somebody who can maintain the car. And then if the parts are very cheap, so there are so many things that we look at before. Yes.
So really, what would be the driver's responsibility? I mean, you have to make a daily sales of a certain amount.
Yes. For what we did was that we wanted to give convenience to the drivers. So what we do is that don't come daily to the office to make sales. What you do is that we make weekly payments, and then we've leveraged on some of the platforms of our bankers, the internet banking and other things. So whoever go to any branch, wherever you might be at any point in time, just make the deposit into the bank account. We get a notification at the bank, and then we do our reconciliation. At the end of 2 months, then you come there, and then we just reconcile and then see that maybe all the sales that you really paid were actually credited into the account. So it comes with flexibility, technology, and then who would have thought that you could...
I get it. You're saying it rather beautifully, but what if somebody decides not to follow the rules? Yeah,
some people do, but I think the whole thing is that you really have to tell the person what is really in for. Anytime if somebody enters my office, I ask is, for how long have you been driving? And then some people tell you, I've been driving for 15 years, I've been driving for 20 years. And then you ask the person, so what have you made out of it? And they tell you nothing.
Why is it so difficult? I mean, if they are earning this much, I mean, on the side, why are they not able to do things for themselves?
Yeah, that's why I say that is the discipline. They know that, oh, today I've made it. The mentality. Today I've made it. When I go the next time, I'm going to make it. So whatever they make within the day, they spend it before the next day even comes. You see, but when the person comes there, you take him through, oh, you've driven for over 10 years, and you don't have even anything to yourself. Let's 2.5 years. Just discipline yourself. The same sales that you make to whoever you were driving this car, make the same sales to me, and then you'll be able to own this car.
So after 2.5 years, the car is yours?
After 2.5 years, yes. But then it depends. You can take it less than that. If you are serious and then you want to make more than what we told you, then you'll be able to finish before time.
You know, I'm looking for a day when we would have like that industry properly regulated, you know, so that if you're retiring as a taxi driver, you know that you have a certain package to pick up, you know, like an end of year benefit, you know, a package. Is there like a provident fund where a certain amount is contributed into? Is there even a health system? You know, is that whole industry being regulated?
Not.
And the big question is, why not?
I think
why not?
I think that the former institution, the corporations that we have now, the big banks, the insurance companies, I think the onus lies on them to actually bring all these guys on board. Because what you do is that you think that somebody is on a monthly salary, so you go after that person, but not knowing that somebody makes a chunk of money just alongside and you are not concentrating on that person. So if actually we would just change our ideas about some of these things and actually go in down, some of these funds, how many taxi drivers will you see, and then they will tell you that I'm contributing to this fund. You will not get that. If there is, it will be less than about 5%. So it's there must be a paradigm shift of probably just concentrating so much on the formal sector and then probably taking care of the informal sector too.
Because I'm just imagining, I mean, if you're a taxi driver, you've been doing the business for about 10 years and suddenly you fall sick and you're unable to drive, you know, it means that for the period when you're not active, what happens? Who takes care of you? I mean, what is there to cushion you? You know, and that's not good.
Yes, it's not good. It's not good at all. What the insurance, I said, the insurance companies should be doing, the funds managers and other people, what should they be doing? They should just be going to this lorry station. They should go to the talk to taxi drivers, tell them the benefit that will accrue from these things, that the investment that you want them to make, and then they will do it. Initially, it will be difficult, but they will eventually do it. I think we are concentrating so much on the formal sector, and then we are leaving the informal sector.
That's true. I agree with you.
As soon as we take care of the informal sector too, I think we would do very well.
So if I do not, and I do not want to join your scheme, and I want to, I mean, I'm driving somebody's taxi, and I'm making the daily sales. Tell me how disciplined I can be, so that at the end of 2-3 years, I can also buy a car. Because if I can work with you and be able to own the vehicle after a certain period, then I should be able to do it on my own, right?
Yeah, so, yeah, you should be able to do it. What the thing is, probably just put yourself on a basic salary. Just compare yourself with somebody who works in a government institution. He only gets some amount at the end of the month. So whatever you get, just work around it. Just budget yourself with that amount that you are going to. Just say that I'm going to pay myself. You know that you are probably going to end up at 400 Ghana cedis or 50 Ghana cedis. When you make more than that on the side, you wouldn't go ahead, and then you wouldn't. If you are going to make 500, you know that you are making 500. You get within a day, you make 100 Ghana cedis. You don't go spending the whole 100 Ghana cedis. You can put some on the side, and then yes, you'll be able to probably achieve whatever you want to achieve on the side. Yes.
Okay. So what's the way forward? I mean, you say you started since 2006, 2007?
No, I didn't start in 2006. I registered a business in 2000 whilst I was in school in 2007. But I was only able to start in 2011.
Okay. Why? Because you didn't have enough money?
Yes, because I didn't have enough money, because the banks will not even look at your proposal.
So you never worked for anybody?
I think the only work that I did was for my national service.
Your national service.
My national service.
And then you decided to do this business yourself?
Yes. I grew up from a house where we hawked. My mom will actually find stuffs, items that are really in season, and then we sold them. So basically, growing up, I've always wanted to start my business. So as I was saying, I even started the business, did the registration whilst in school. So I had the idea that I wasn't going to complete school and then come and add on to the burden of.
So how much money do you make? How much profit do you make? So you pay yourself, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do. For some years now, since 2011, I haven't really put myself on any salary. I do some other works. As I told you, we have some security devices that we put in the car. So I'm into that side too. We fix the tracking devices. So that's where I'm getting my bits from. But not really concentrating on the money that I really am making. I'm making from the transportation side. So over two years, I've really sacrificed my salary just to grow the business and then empower some of the drivers.
Has it prevented you from doing some personal things that you would have loved to do for yourself?
Sure.
Such as?
Such as probably having my own house.
Okay.
Yes, probably having my own house. Yeah, probably having my own house. But now, whatever you make, you have to just put it back. Some of the drivers come with so some touching stories, and then you
many excuses.
So many excuses. And now when they are coming from the beginning, they have some excuses, but some really have some touching stories. I think last week I visited one of my drivers, and then I was talking to him. He's going to finish within the next week. The next 2 weeks, he's just going to finish.
Okay.
Yes. So I visited him, and then he took me to his house. I had been there earlier on, but the first day that I went there, he didn't take me to his place. Maybe he was very uncomfortable about it. And then he told me that, Chris, I've been living here for about 14 years. In a single room, he has 3 kids with a wife. And then when I went there, I think the wife's mom had come to visit. So we had about 6 people living in a very small room. And then he told me that, Chris, now that I'm almost done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move out of this place. This place is quite rough. I'm going to move out of this place and then go and rent about 2-bedroom house. And then think of building a house.
Wow.
That's where the inspiration really comes from. So when you are sacrificing, some of the stories that you get from the drivers, and some, I must say, are very stubborn. They can come up with so many excuses. But the stories, when you get down, some will come up with stories that will really inspire you to actually, the bit that you have, you put it into the business.
Yeah. But hopefully you make enough money that you would continue to be doing this.
Sure. Not like enough to myself, but to grow the business.
Yeah.
Enough to grow it, because at a certain point, I can't say that I was sacrifice whatever I have to pay myself into the business. So at a certain point, I have to let the business go. Whatever we've invested in it, we have to try just taking it for the business to just sit on its own.
All right.
Yes.
Chris, it's a good thing that you're doing. I think it's a very encouraging story, yours, and it would inspire a lot of us to start doing things on our own. I love your story. Okay, so last week, I think I themed it Kwasia Binti Week, but I didn't really hammer on it. But now that I'm doing my banner, I guess I want to give all of us some time to soak it in.
Is just to go to court and get judgment and not to pursue the claims. I am promising you that I will pursue my rights to the hilt. I will take the money. The money will not go to any charity. I will take the money and build a house and write in front of that house Kwasia Binti.
Well, can I also just say that my guest on my banner, Christopher Pamford, has also been selected by Google. He's actually one of the top 5 and the only person in Ghana to have been selected amongst the top 5 as business success story. And this is a Google initiative, and I would like to say congratulations to him. I hope his story has inspired you to start something on your own. My name is Mama Viewuswabuaji, my colleague, Roland Walker. We were here from 6, and it's time for us to say goodbye, but do join us again tomorrow, Tuesday. Have a lovely day.